Thank you for watching Relocating to Disney. So I am driving my parents' car down to their new apartment, so I thought I'd take this time to bring you up to speed on what's going on. And I'm sorry this is going to be a bumpy ride. If you've been following this blog, you know that we put a purchase offer on a house in Florida. They accepted it. And then leading up to closing, you have to pass through 3 gates. First, the inspection. Second, an appraisal. And third is your financing. So I want to talk now about the financing gate, give you an update on where that's at. If you've watched these, you know that we still own our New York home. We haven't sold it yet. And when it comes to financing, at the day of closure, you have to show up with some cash. The cash you have to show up with, 20% of the loan, and any cash that you pay above the market value of the house. So if the house is worth $1.5 million and you agree to pay $2 million, you got to show up with $500,000 in cash, right? Because it's above the appraised value of the house. Now, in my particular case, I agreed as part of my offer on the house to pay $5,000 above the appraised value of the house, and I agreed to contribute $5,000 toward the closing of the house. So I've got to have $10,000 in cash plus 20% of the loan, which works out to be 20% of the appraised value of the house. Okay, that's a lot of money, and I don't have that much money in the bank. Typically, you would sell your house and then use the equity from the house to pay for these things. But because I haven't sold the New York house yet, and there's no way I'm going to sell it before closing, that's not going to work for me. Now, if you are going to Florida and you're buying a house, excellent chance you're not going to be in this problem that I'm in. Now, some people will keep their original house because they've got it paid off and they've saved up enough money to cover all these other costs. That's not me. Some people will sell their original house ahead of time, and then they'll rent for a while until they find the house that they want to go into. That's not me. So what it comes down to is at closing, I've got to cough up a lot of cash that I don't have. And if you've watched these blogs, you know the approach I'm taking. I was approved by my financial advisor to take a loan for my retirement. And again, this was an arrangement my financial advisor approved. I'm not suggesting you do this. If you want to know more about it, go talk to your financial advisor and see if that kind of an arrangement would work for you. It happens to work out very well in my particular situation. In fact, my financial advisor is the one that came up with the idea and suggested it. The challenge I've been having is now to get the loans from 2 of the retirement accounts. Now, one retirement account, I went online, filled out the paperwork electronically, and within a couple of days, I was notified the check's in the mail. That was so easy. I couldn't believe how easy it was. The other retirement account, not so easy. And I'm not going to name the names of who these companies are. That's my point, isn't to bash them. But although I'd love to bash them. But the second one is kind of outdated, which is surprising because they are so well known out there in the market, so well respected. This isn't a little rinky-dink local company. This is, a huge company. And what they did for my retirement account is they have, let's call it a subcontractor, a sub-company that does some of the management for it. So when I wanted the loan, I had to, in addition to contacting my retirement company, I had to then contact the sub company, and then every single day or every other day, I'm following up with one company or the other, trying to make sure that the paperwork's going through, the approval's going through, everything's the way it's supposed to be. And it's been a struggle because their processes are so poor, they don't know what the left hand and right hand are doing. And they would never know if I wasn't the one calling and following up. So anyways, I just recently got notice that it's been approved. I got to follow up next week, make sure that the check gets processed and gets sent to me. Once that happens, I'm all set for closing. Closing is supposed to be end of March, so I'll be all set for closing far in advance of that. But that's the update on the financing. Once that's done, we are all set to go for the mortgage, for the loan, for the closing. Everything is all set. So that's the update of where we are today. Appreciate you checking out Relocating to Disney. And please come back and watch some more videos.